The next morning, while walking through the forest, Makoto and his crew discover a special healing mushroom that can cure any illness, even mend broken bones. Makoto collects some for emergencies, while Sui snacks on it until his body starts glowing. Sui gains a new skill, the ability to create healing potions that can cure anyone, even those on the brink of death. Makoto asks Sui to make a batch, and he bottles the potion for safekeeping. 3 days later, they enter the griffin territory. A griffin monster, half lion, half eagle, approaches them. Makoto panics, thinking it will attack, but it challenges Phil for leadership of its pack. Phil accepts the challenge. Makoto steps back and uses telepathy to ask Phil not to kill the griffin. The fight is intense, with Phil creating a whirlwind that injures the griffin. Just as the griffin collapses, bleeding out, Makoto rushes in and asks Sui to make a large healing potion. They save the griffin, who then lets out a triumphant roar, summoning the rest of its pack. The griffin becomes the pack leader and thanks Makoto, gifting him a feather that ensures none of the griffins will harm them. The pack leaves peacefully. That night, Phil demands a feast after his hard-fought battle. Makoto uses the last of their leg meat to cook a delicious meal. The three eat until they're full. Phil reminds Makoto to prepare weekly earth desserts for the witch. After spending 6 weeks in the forest, they finally exit and check the map. They realize they're close to Lenhart Kingdom. Phil, noticing they're out of meat, sprints ahead but spots bandits attacking a merchant caravan. Phil realizes saving them could earn him a massive reward. Without hesitation, Phil sprints toward the scene. The bandits, much stronger than the adventurers guarding the caravan, have already killed some of them. Phil approaches and lets out an intimidating roar, making it clear they're outmatched. Phil warns the bandits to surrender, threatening to eat them if they don't comply. Terrified, they throw down their weapons and back away. The merchant, Lars, leader of the Phoenix adventurers, is grateful for the rescue. He introduces himself and explains they're headed to Carlina, a city in Lenhart Kingdom. Makoto asks to join them, and Lars agrees. As they travel, Lars and the adventurers talk about Phil. They mention how news about a new adventurer with a legendary wolf has spread across magical communication gates. Makoto gets nervous, worried someone might find out about his secrets. That evening, Makoto cooks dinner using the last piece of meat in his supplies. He moves away from the group with Phil and Sui, trying to keep his cooking low-key. The smell of the food attracts Lars and the adventurers, who follow the scent and devour the meal without hesitation, leaving nothing for Makoto. After dinner, the adventurers offer to guard Makoto through the night, ensuring the bandits are safely handed over to the authorities in Carlina. Makoto warns the bandits that Phil will handle them if they try anything funny. Phil growls, making sure they understand the threat. The group arrives at Carlina the next morning. The massive city amazes Makoto, and Lars explains it's the 5th largest city in Lenhart Kingdom, famous for its leather trade. At the guild, Makoto is shocked to find that his adventure license has been revoked because he hasn't completed the required beginner quests. The receptionist sternly informs him of this, leaving Makoto puzzled. Makoto learns that by reaching G rank, he'll only need to complete one quest every 3 months to maintain his membership. He re-registers at the guild and also registers Sui as an official companion. Some adventurers laugh at Makoto for registering Sui, but he doesn't care. He knows Sui's true abilities and values it as a partner. Makoto, Phil, and Sui head to the guild butcher to sell the monsters Phil hunted. They run into Lars and the Phoenix adventurers, whose leader asks to watch the sale. Curious about the monsters Makoto has collected, Makoto agrees and pulls the monsters from his magical toolbox. The sheer number and size of the beasts shock everyone. The butcher agrees to buy the monsters immediately. Makoto learns that selling to outside butchers might result in getting scammed, as external buyers only care about the meat and might discard valuable parts like scales and gems. While the butcher processes the monsters, Lars and his team apologize to Makoto for eating his food the night before. They didn't realize it was made from such rare, expensive meat. To repay him, Lars offers to help Makoto anytime he needs it. Makoto accepts their apology, appreciating their sincerity. That night, Makoto and Sui stay at an inn. Before Makoto can sleep, he hears the witch Nerner angrily scolding him telepathically for forgetting to deliver her desserts. Makoto hurriedly opens the app, finds desserts on sale and buys them. After placing them in front of him, he calls Nerner's name, and the desserts vanish, reaching her instantly. The next day, Makoto, Phil, and Sui head to the guild to choose a quest. There are many options like gathering water or herbs, which offer 1 point, or hunting goblins, which offers 3 points. Makoto hesitates to choose goblin hunting because of his previous terrifying experience with them. He tries to pick a simpler quest, but Phil and Sui insist on hunting goblins so they can leave the area faster and head to the sea. Makoto reluctantly agrees. The group travels to the eastern forest, where goblins are known to roam. Makoto reads the mission guide and learns that killing 5 goblins earns 3 points and 3 silver coins. Soon after, they spot 3 goblins playing in the forest. Sui fights them reluctantly. Makoto collects their ears as proof for the guild. Makoto feels exhausted and wants to head back, but Sui refuses. The slime insists on killing more goblins. As Makoto protests loudly, the noise attracts a group of goblin monsters who charge at them. Sui jumps into action, taking down all the goblins with ease. After the fight, Makoto collects more goblin ears, but doesn't know what to do with all the bodies. Burning them seems risky since it could set the forest on fire. That's when Sui shows its new skill. It can dissolve the goblin bodies entirely. Even better, Sui transforms into a giant slime, splitting into smaller slimes to handle the task faster. Makoto realizes that Sui is a dangerous yet powerful ally. Not only can it destroy a large number of monsters, but it can also produce healing potions in bulk. After successfully completing the mission, Makoto decides to reward Sui with a feast. He buys hawashi and sausages from the online store. As usual, the food is a hit. While they eat, Makoto checks the mission requirements and realizes they've completed a task that should have taken 3 months in 1 day. Thanks to Sui, they return to the guild with proof of their success, showing the ears of all the goblins they defeated. The guild is shocked that Makoto managed to accomplish such a feat. The guild leader, William, requests to meet Makoto and his companions. In William's office, he marvels at the number of goblins they killed. At first, he assumes Phil did all the work, but Sui steps up and claims credit. William shares a message from the king. The royal family and nobles have decided to grant Makoto freedom in the kingdom, as long as he agrees to assist them in emergencies. William offers Makoto a deal. He can fast-track to rank C if Phil accepts high-level interdimensional quests that have been sitting untouched for years because no adventurer dared to take them. Phil agrees, and William opens his office door to let them leave, marking the start of their next adventure. Makoto decides to sell more items to the guild. He heads to the butcher, Johan, with Phil and Sui, showing him some chimera and orts monsters. These creatures are high-ranking monsters, rare even to spot, let alone hunt. Their value is astronomical, far beyond what the guild can afford to pay. Makoto decides to keep some of the monsters in his toolbox, while Johan is stunned by the sheer rarity of these creatures, especially the blue ghoul, which he has never seen before. Makoto is amazed that Phil managed to hunt such legendary beasts with ease. Sui, feeling competitive, decides he also wants to hunt creatures of this caliber someday. William asks Makoto to return the next day to collect his G-Rank guild card. That evening, Makoto treats his companions to a new Japanese dish, using a unique sauce. The food is a hit, and the 3 eat until they're completely full. But that's where this video ends. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video.